week 5 of the Tinkerpreneur Bootcamp. Today's session is the Tinkerpreneur Mentoring Hour, wherein we have our regional mentor of change, Mr. Kiran Kumar, who will be walking you through the steps of week 5, how you should approach it. He'll cover some of the key concepts that are there around marketing. In the session we had yesterday with Ms. Kaiti Jolly, she gave you a high level overview of how she approaches marketing and brand building for Master G. But in today's session, Mr. Kiran will give you some of the more practical tips and insights on how you can build your logo, how you can create your marketing collaterals, and get started with the activities for week 5. And before I invite Mr. Kiran to take over for today's session, here's a quick reminder for everyone to take the time you have off today to work on your assignments and submit them. They will be a crucial part of you being able to continue for the weeks further and get the recognition for participating in Tinkerpreneur. So with that, sir, over to you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much, Varia. I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yes.
Okay. Just let me bring up my slides. I'll just share my screen and we can get started. Okay. Hope you're able to see the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So thank you again. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kiran. I'm a regional mentor of change associated with ATL Innovation Mission since the last 3 years. So I've been doing this weekly mentoring sessions for all of you. So I'm happy to be back again this Sunday, 27th of June. We are already in week 5. It's amazing how fast or how quickly this bootcamp is progressing from week to week. I'm amazed that we are already in week 5 and many of you have actually done significant amount of work in the last few weeks. You not only acquired digital skills, but you also built a digital product, refined it further. And during the last 1 week, many of you have even come up with a business model and also a business card for your online business. So it's amazing journey so far, and I hope all of you are enjoying it. And this week, we are going to go further along this journey and get to the marketing aspect of commercializing your digital product. Okay, so yesterday, I think we had a wonderful session by Ms. Gayatri, who gave a wonderful high-level view of what marketing is, what digital marketing is. She brought out really good examples from her own organization, and I hope that set the context, and you have a kind of fair idea of what we are talking about this week, what marketing is about. So with that, we will get started. So the focus of this week is on taking your product to the market. The very first step is marketing your product. I'll explain what marketing is and things like that. So the focus of my session will be more very focused to what the activities and assignments for this particular week are. But of course, I'll set the context before that. I'll introduce you to specific terms. I know some of you have been asking questions about brand and logo and things like that. Even in yesterday's session on YouTube Live, some of you were asking these questions about how do I create my logo. I mean, you had questions about affiliate marketing and many of those things. So we will cover some of those things today, not everything. This is just a probably just an introduction. It will not cover all aspects of marketing, but only to get you started. After that, marketing is a huge area by itself, and it cannot be covered in just probably one session. So it probably needs multiple sessions to take you through this journey. Okay, so as you see, we are already in week 5. We covered significant ground already. We are going to discuss about branding, brand logos, taglines, marketing messages. You're also going to design some of these, and also you're going to come up with a flyer, marketing flyer to advertise or promote your product. That's what we're going to do this week. And in subsequent weeks, many of you have been waiting for week 6 or probably even doing it earlier, like trying to sell your product. So that will come next week. So please stay tuned. So you are going to learn about marketing, and then next week you learn how to sell it on an online store. Okay, and later weeks you learn about finance, you learn how to start your own business, run your more marketing campaign to attract customers. It's an extension of what you're going to learn this week. Week 5, you're going to learn basics of marketing, and week 8, you're also going to learn something about marketing campaign, which is an intensive marketing activity. And in week 9, you're also going to learn how to pitch your product and make a sale. Okay, so with that little context of how we have progressed so far, let's also relook at some of the things that you have already done. In week 2 and 3, you built and refined your digital product. In week 2, you built a minimum viable product. I'm sure all of you are now familiar with this term called MVP, or minimum viable product, which is a basic version of the product which is used to get some early inputs and feedback from potential users or customers, and that will help you refine your product. And when you got to week 3, you refined it along many lines. For example, you looked at how to enhance the features and functionality of your product. You also looked at how to add some more features that the users may be looking at, how to enhance the value and benefits that customers are going to derive, how to add improve the quality of your product, and how to even package your product better. And so we looked at many of these angles, and then hope your initial MVP, which was probably more like this. I'm circling here with my mouse, and it has probably reached the picture here that you see like this, or maybe the third one, or even maybe the second refinement or the third refinement. So you need to figure out where you are currently. This journey is never going to end. Even in today's session, I'm going to ask you to refine your product further, and I'm sure even without me telling you to do this, you will already be doing it. So the second part we did, this was a session last week. The idea was to come up with a business model. So the first 1 week was more on technology. Second and third week was more on building a product which is useful to people so that you can commercialize it later. But before you can commercialize, we needed to come up with a high level plan or a direction or a focus. That's what business model was all about. You identified the products and services that you're going to offer your customers. You also narrowed down the customer segment and said, I'm going to focus on these customers particularly. You also figured out the sales channel, whether you're going to sell it online, offline. If it is online, what is the specific online channel that you're going to use, whether it is an online store or a marketplace, whether you're going to sell it through a mobile app, or maybe you're going to put it on a mobile app store, things like that. You also looked at what is the value that you're offering your customers through the value proposition statements. You figured out how to engage with your customers through various online and offline channels. We also looked at the pricing strategy and revenue models. For example, we looked at how we can make money out of the product. For example, are you going to use some advertising model or a subscription model or a freemium model or a rental model? There are many models. I'm sure many of you have looked at some of the examples that was in the template, and you have come up with your own revenue model which is suitable for your business. And I hope you have taken some support and guidance from your mentors as well. And I've been seeing many interesting business cards that are coming out during the last 1 week. So many of you have been putting your nice picture on your business card, your business name. Maybe some of you have even seen putting some logos on your business card. There's even a QR code as well. Some of you have even gone further and put a Zap code to bring some augmented reality experience. So this is amazing. You can keep adding more stuff to your business card, make it more interesting, and things like that. So continue along that journey. And now we will figure out what do I do next. That now that I have built a digital product, I have come up with a business model. How do I? How will people know that I have a product to sell? That is the most important question that you may be asking now. And how do I spread the word about my product so that people get to know about it? And maybe I can make a sale, or customers reach out to me and then I can make a sale. So this is exactly what we are going to do. We are going to take your product to the market. So, and finally, the end objective is to make a sale. So now that you have a product, now that you have a business model, you have a clear plan, you know how to go about further. Now is the time to tell the world about your product that you wish to sell. So you need to go and talk about it. Unless you talk about it, nobody will know what you have built, what is that you have, you're ready to offer, what is that you're ready to sell. And then so you need to keep telling people every opportunity that you get, you need to talk about it. That's what marketing exactly is all about. So at its core, marketing is basically the promotion of your products or services to a specific target audience or specific target customers or target users. So marketing has many more things, but at its core, it's just basically a promoting it. I mean, selling is different from marketing. In selling, you actually make a sale, but in marketing, you actually promote your product. Okay, basically you make sure that people know about your product and they recognize your product and they value your product before they make a purchase decision. And when that decision is made and they actually make a sale, that becomes part of the selling process. But everything that happens before the selling is called marketing, more or less. Okay, so that's what we are going to talk about in today's session, all about marketing. How do you promote? How do you communicate the value of your product or tell people about the product that you have? So let's understand a bit about marketing. What is marketing? So there, I've given a few bullet points for you to refer to. This is also on the Tinkerpreneur website. You can refer to. So I always have some bullet points in my slides so that it becomes easy for you to remember these words, and then you can use it later on as well. Okay, so basically at its core, as I said, marketing seeks to, it's an activity or a set of activities which take a product or a service and you identify its target customers or ideal customers or prospective customers, and you draw their attention to it. That means drawing attention means you need to make them aware of it. People should know that you have something to offer. So that could be done through various ways. For example, you could have a face-to-face meeting with them, go and sit with the customer, maybe either at the customer's office, or you can even invite the customer to your office, or it could be at some third-party place. It could even be a cafeteria, for example, or I mean a coffee shop, for example, or it could be some exhibition or a trade fair or some conference, anywhere. I mean, you can meet your prospective customers in many areas, many places. So when you get a chance to meet them in person, that's the most fantastic opportunity you got, because you have their time. I mean, you get their time to, so that you can speak to them and you can showcase what your product is, what your business is, and you can try to highlight its uh, key aspects so that customers get influenced or they are interested, and maybe they give you more time to come and talk to them at a later date, or maybe some cases it could be an instant purchase as well. Or you could even make a phone call. I mean, in these times of pandemic, you probably cannot go and meet customers face to face because of a lot of challenges and risks um, associated with coronavirus. So the next best recourse is maybe you can make a phone call, talk to your customers on the phone, and then you see a lot of telemarketers making phone calls either on our landline phones or on our mobile phones. I'm sure many of you have been getting phone calls like this, and it doesn't stop you also from calling a few people and trying to find out what their needs are and whether you can try and offer your product to them. So that's another way of marketing your product. I mean, at least getting to tell people that you have a product to sell. Or there are other ways. For example, you could put a newspaper ad, or you could put a television ad. Of course, these are very expensive ways to market your product. Oh, big companies can definitely afford to do it. I wouldn't recommend that you get into a TV ad or a newspaper ad right now, or maybe even a billboard. They are very expensive. Big companies can definitely afford to put a big billboard in the center of the city or on highways to attract attention of passing vehicles and things like that. So there are many other ways of marketing, but the simplest could be you could create a product video or create a brochure or a pamphlet or a flyer, any of these simple things. Or you can put a poster on a social media, on Facebook or Twitter or on Instagram or any other social media platform. Maybe you could even upload your video to YouTube, or make it available in different ways to your customers so that people get to know what you have. So basically marketing is, yes, of course, it's about promoting, but it goes beyond just promoting. It's basically a set of activities that involves planning as well, because you cannot just go and put some ad and throw it at customers. You need to really plan through things well. It's again like how you created a business model canvas last week. You also need to have a marketing plan or a marketing strategy, we call it as, in which you're going to figure out what is the best way to reach my customers, what is the best way to promote my products, and what is the time frame, who are those people, how do I reach them, what are the channels I'm going to use, how do I engage with these customers. So you need to come up with a broad plan of action, and then you also can figure out how do you price your product. Of course, the pricing, the pricing ultimately will be when the selling happens, you get the amount, but right now you need to even figure out the pricing. Okay, but we will take the pricing probably as part of next week's activity. But right now you can think about it. At least you can start thinking about it. What is the price that at which I should be selling my product, and how do I promote it? Whether I should use a pamphlet or a brochure or a marketing video and things like what is the best way to promote it? Social media, digital media, offline, whatever is a channel. And how do I communicate? What is that I need to tell people? I cannot go and talk a lot of things. People don't have much time today to listen to you. So you need to be very crisp and concise and clear in whatever you speak. So how you speak, what you speak, and how effectively you speak makes a lot of difference. So communication is very, very important, both written communication as well as verbal communication, or communication coming through your brochures or flyers, and all of these, everything is important. You need to worry about exact words and exact sentences, exact the kind of font and color you use, everything matters in communication. And ultimately, how do you deliver your product and how do you add value to customers? All of these you need to think as part of marketing activity. So ultimately, the goal of marketing is to raise awareness about both your business as well as your products or services. And you need to target new customers. One is, of course, you need to target your existing customers so that they buy more from you. But beyond that, marketing is more about finding new customers, targeting new customers. You need to convert them into from prospective customers. You need to make them into real customers, paying customers. Once a customer has come in, you need to adopt different kind of strategies to retain them. But first and foremost step is to acquire new customers. So who are not your current customers, but you want to get them and they should start using your product. Once they start using your product, then maybe there are other ways you can make sure that they don't leave you, so that you retain them and they give you continuous business month after month or year after year. Okay, and ultimately the goal of marketing is to increase sales. Sales means people should be buying more and more of your products and services. And you should also make sure that as part of your marketing and selling activity, you increase the value that you're offering to customers. Ultimately, it's not just about making money by just selling it. It should not be just transactional. It should be about creating more value addition to people, because only when you create value to people, people also value you in return and they buy more of your products. They should also feel that they are getting value from whatever they're buying from you, right? So marketing may be done through different ways. You could have advertising, you could involve have product promotions or product incentives. So when we get to promotion, sometimes you may even have to give away some of part of your product or a few features of your product for free, so that customers can actually test it and they can see whether it adds value to them. So today, if you see, a lot of products come with this freemium model. The freemium model will allow customers to actually give it a try, or at least they give you a free trial of, if many of the tools that you have been using, digital tools that you have been using, many of them are free for basic version, basic usage. But if you want something more, then you have to pay, whether it is your chatbot or whether it is some other tool, the gaming tool or whatever. Some of the features are always free. So you need to look at how do you promote it, how do you provide some incentives for people to buy it. Otherwise, when a new customer wants to come in, he or she doesn't know what value you get. So you need to entice them by giving them something for free or for a lower price. And then once they get attracted, when they start using it, and then when they want more value, then you start charging them. So there are different ways to do it. Okay, so this is what marketing is all about and more. I've been saying only a few things about marketing in the interest of time, but it's a huge area by itself. You need to understand as you go along. Now let's look at what is digital marketing. Ms. Gayatri also talked about digital marketing in yesterday's YouTube live session. So digital marketing is also a form of marketing, but in which you're going to use more of digital online tools and technologies and platforms to to your marketing activities. For example, you could put an ad on a website instead of putting an ad on a physical newspaper, which can be very expensive. You can do it much more effectively and reach a lot more people, maybe millions of people at a fraction of the cost by putting an ad on a newspaper. Or you could use search engine optimization techniques, wherein the search engine will display or rank your website higher up in the search results, so that your website shows up before any other results show up, and you get more hits because Google or maybe some other search engine shows your results more prominently. Or so things like that. You can use a search engine to do it. There's a whole specialized area called search engine optimization. Or you could put, you could even promote your products on social media channels like Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, whatever it is. And nowadays, you're even seeing advertisements being put on voice assistant devices like Alexa or Google Home or Siri or Cortana. So these, especially I've been using Alexa for a while, and I see a lot of ads coming on Alexa these days. So that is a voice-based mechanism of promoting your product. So that's fantastic. It's a new way of doing things. Or you could be sending emails. That's the most traditional way of communicating with your customers and promoting your products. You could even enclose the flyer that you have created. You can enclose it in an email and send it to your prospective customers. Only thing is you need to get their email IDs. So that's the first task. So you need to source the email IDs of people so that you can start sending them emails. Or you could even use WhatsApp, for example, or any other messaging platform for promoting your products. So all these are part of, or you could even use SMS. I'm sure many of you have been receiving lots of SMS on your phones, lots of advertisements on SMS, some of which we may take notice, some of which we may not, we may just blindly delete it. But nevertheless, marketers use all these different techniques, whether it is social media, SMS, WhatsApp, emails, search engines, websites. I'm only showcasing a few of the mechanisms, but there could be a lot more as well. There could be even digital billboards that people could use in public spaces to do digital marketing, right? So there are many ways in which you can use online platforms and tools and technologies to do your marketing. And the advantage of these online platforms is they are much more cost effective. At the same time, it will allow you to reach out to many more people than probably traditional marketing or traditional advertising can make it possible. Because in an online medium like a Facebook or Instagram, there are millions of people, and if you do it smartly, your promotion or your marketing activity or promotion can reach to millions of people rather than hundreds or thousands or lakhs of people. So it's amazing that these digital tools and technologies are making it possible to today. It's making it possible to reach out to a large number of audience, and you can have a global customer base very quickly, very shortly, without spending too much of money. So that is why we are focusing so much on digital technologies in this bootcamp, because digital technologies makes it possible for you to reach a large audience. Sitting at your home, you can be a tinkerpreneur, creating your own little product and selling it to global audience across continents, just using this digital marketing and digital selling platforms. So that's the beauty of these kind of things. So basically, for digital marketing, you could be using computer, you could be using mobile devices, you could be using emails, websites, as I said, all of these channels are different devices and different channels to promote your products. And at the end of the day, again, as in marketing, the whole idea of digital marketing is also to promote your products and services among prospective customers. You want more traffic to your website. For example, you have an online store or a website where you're selling your products. You want more and more people to come and visit your online store, because only when they come and look at your online store, they look at your products and they make a purchase decision. That is the moment of truth for the customer as well as for you, because you need to get them to your website. Unless you get them to a website, the sale will not happen. So somehow or the other, you need to get them to your online store. That should be the objective of your digital marketing efforts. Okay, so basically you need to get new customers and you need to make a sale at the end of the day. Okay, from people who are trying to look for products and services from you. So this is what digital marketing is all about. But when we get to digital marketing, or whether it is marketing or digital marketing, there are many other finer aspects that you need to think about. The first aspect among these is called branding or brand. So many of you have heard this term, you may be already familiar with this term, but what is brand or what is branding? So we need to pay attention to this. This is one of the most important aspects in marketing. Whether you use the traditional marketing or the digital marketing, brand plays a key role. So many of you are familiar with a lot of brand names. For example, Coca-Cola, or maybe it's Pizza Hut, where you buy pizzas, or McDonald's, or Burger King, or maybe some of the car models. It could be a BMW or a Mercedes, or it could be Apple phones, iPhones, or it could be iPads, or it could be some Samsung Galaxy phones, or it could be a Gucci bag. I mean, these are luxury brands. So many of these products, I mean, they're products, of course. There are some companies selling these products, but these company names you may or may not always know, but you always know those products by the brand name. Of course, Coca-Cola, the company name and the brand name are same. Um, many of these, for example, Dove is a soap that many of you use, but do you know the company behind it? The company name is something else, but they sell a product with a brand name called Dove. So the brand name is what is recognized by people in the world, not necessarily your company name or your business name. Your business name could be something like ABC or XYZ, whatever it is. It could be not so. I mean, people may not recognize you by your business name always. Sometimes they do, sometimes they may not. But what they recognize is by your brand name. So your brand name can be for your entire business, or it could be for your specific products and services. So in the case of Dove is a specific brand name. And the company which makes Dove also makes many other products. So they have different brand names for each of the products. Whereas Pizza Hut is basically a pizza. Um, um, it's a restaurant or a place which sells pizzas, right? So they have one brand name for all the pizzas. Okay, of course, the pizza names may be different. They may not be individually branded, but Pizza Hut is a brand, Coca-Cola is a brand, BMW is a brand, Apple TV is a brand, Apple phones are a brand. Okay, so even the iPhone is a brand within the bigger Apple brand. So your company or your business can have a brand by itself, and your individual products and services also can sometimes have their own brand, but not necessarily always. The key thing is brand is what people associate with your business, and brand is also how people perceive your business. When I say perceive, for example, look at Coca-Cola. Then when they look at Coca-Cola, they look at Coca-Cola as something, it's a tasty or fun drink. When they look at a Gucci bag, they look at it as a luxury or a style statement. When they buy Dove soap, they are looking, I mean, they associate Dove with beauty. When I say beauty, it gives beautiful face. When the people use Dove soap to wash their face, then it enhances their complexion or beauty. Or when they go to Pizza Hut to have a pizza, they're looking for freshness and taste. That is the kind of image that these brands um, um, are basically, that is how they are being perceived by the customers. One is, of course, how people, customers perceive your brand, and how you promote your brand. Both of them get into the picture here. So one is you need to make an attempt to promote a um, certain image about your brand. Another is how customers perceive you about your brand. Both of them are very important. And when you look at BMW, it's again a luxury car. Um, when you look at Apple TV, it's again about, or Apple devices or Apple phones, it's all about personality, lifestyle, and things like that. So every brand has its own image. Every brand gives, I mean, people perceive those brands in their own ways, or because of how people, I mean, other people are buying, how other people are using it, and who is using it. Brand gets certain recognition or an image. Some brands are considered as premium brands or luxury brands. Some brands are considered may not be considered as luxury brands. So there are different kinds of brands out there. Okay. Only thing is, why do we have a brand? Why should our business or our product should have a brand? Because the brand will help you stand out from the crowd. If you try to sell your product or service, nobody may know what your product or service is. How do they trust what you're trying to sell? I mean, why should they buy it from you? So if you say my brand stands for quality, my brand stands for luxury, so people who are interested in quality will get attracted to your brand. People who are interested in luxury may get attracted to your brand. So you need to make it clear that this is what I stand for, my business stands for, or my product stand for. And that is how you get recognized in a crowded marketplace where there are many competing companies, many competing products and services out there. So ultimately, brand gives you a distinct identity. It gives you an image for your products and services. People perceive in certain ways, and your products get certain recognition, whether it is fun or tasty, or whether it is freshness, whether it is about beauty, whether it is about luxury or lifestyle. People associate certain attributes to your brand. Okay, so that is what you need to think through for your own business. What is that you would like your brand to be perceived as? How should people perceive your brand? How should they recognize you? What should they recognize you for? What is so distinct about your brand? What is different in your brand or your products and services? So you need to bring that out. Unless you bring that out, it's difficult to sell it in today's crowded marketplace, because there is so much of clutter, and your products and services need to attract attention of prospective or potential customers from all this clutter out there. For example, if you go to some of the shopping streets in our cities, you will see lots of boards. Every shop has put boards, and every shop is trying to attract customers. But when you go look and stand in the street, there are so many boards out there. Every shop has a name, and let's say you are looking for a photocopier shop where you want to get something photocopied. It's so difficult to recognize it because there are so many boards out there advertising so many things, or putting their business names and things like that. So how do you stand out? So some shop will come and say they'll put a big board, or they'll put a neon sign which will blink and attract attention, or it will have some fluorescent colors. So it stands out and it is distinct. That is how you need to attract people to your brand. Otherwise, people will not get recognized to whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to sell. Okay. And a brand also represents something called like confidence or passion or belonging. For example, look at Apple brand. There is so much of passion associated with some of the Apple products. There's a belongingness. There are some people who are so crazy about Apple products. They can stand in queue in the middle of the night to buy the latest Apple gadgets or Apple phones. Even if the shop opens in the morning, they'll come and stand in the queue late in the night in front of the store in some parts of the world, because they are so loyal to that brand. So there is a brand loyalty associated with certain brands. They feel that they belong to the brand. And people who value quality, they would always want to associate or buy those products which enhances uh, quality. Or people who want status, prestige, and pride, they will go for certain kinds of products and services which exudes that kind of image. So every brand gives different set of attributes, different set of values they represent. So you need to figure out what is that you stand for, your business stands for, your products and services stand for. And ultimately, how do you recognize a brand? Every brand has a name. For example, Coca-Cola is a brand, Cookie is a brand, Dow is a brand, Pizza Hut is a brand. All of them have names. Beyond the names, they have something like a design or a symbol or a logo. So the logo is what gives away the brand very easily, because the logo is pictorial. It's written in I mean, even if there is a text, it's written in a certain stylized way. It uses a certain colors, certain designs. Look at Gookie. You will see that uh, G symbol there, right? In here, over here. Or Pizza Hut, there is a specific symbol like this. Dow has the word Dow is written in a certain way. BMW has this logo. It has a circle with two parts in blue and two parts in white, and the words BMW written on top of it. If you look at Apple, they have this apples, the fruit apple symbol, which is partly bitten. That's their logo. This is how you can recognize a brand very easily. So you don't have to read words always. Of course, some brand names and brand logos have written text. Some of them may not have any written text. They may just have a symbol or a logo or a picture. So that's what we are getting into, what a brand logo is. If you look at these products or these brands here on the left side, you see many brands. For example, Adidas. Adidas is a fitness or a shoe or whatever. They sell many products, but all the products come under this brand logo called Adidas. So they have this symbol in black color and Adidas written below it. Barbie dolls has a symbol like this, or Burger King is written like this. The logo looks like this. Or this is Android. The green colored robo kind of symbol is Android. Or this is Apple. Amazon is written just like Amazon in small letters with an arrow, which indicates from you can buy anything from A to Z, and every kind of product that you can buy. So there are so many products out here. For example, this is Boeing. Boeing is a company which makes airplanes, passenger airplanes, or BBC, which is one of the premium news channels in UK, right? So there are so many logos. You can create logos like these. I mean, basically, for your own business, you can create a logo like this. A logo is basically a visual symbol or an emblem or a design adopted by a business to identify its product, services, or brand itself. So your logo could represent your entire business, or it could even you could even have a particular logo for your individual products if you want. But generally, most companies have a logo for their entire business. And what is the purpose of a logo? Because it's pictorial, it promotes easy identification by the public. You just look at, let's say you're hungry and you're looking for some fast food to eat, and in a distance you see the McDonald's symbol, the M written in whatever color, it's either black or yellow, whatever it is. Okay, if you see that M, you know instantly that, oh, there is McDonald's there, I can go there and have burgers. Or if you see that symbol of Pizza Hut, then you can go and have pizzas there. So it becomes easy to recognize even from a distance when you have a brand logo. And the whole idea is you should keep the logo simple. It should not be too complex to design it. And it should be easy to remember by people. If people can't remember your logo easily, then it defeats the purpose. As soon as I see that M symbol, I should know that it is McDonald's always. I shouldn't get confused with any other logo or any other brand. If there's a confusion, then people will not uh, make use of it. And your brand recognition, your brand image will suffer because of that. Make sure that whatever you create is distinct and it is not very similar to some other business or some other brand. If some other business has a similar symbol, don't use the same symbol. Use something else. Create a new design which will stand out and look different. So that's how you should design brand logo. And tagline, this is another important aspect in marketing. So tagline is something that you probably sometimes you will see it below the brand logo itself, or below the company name. Also, you may see the tagline. A tagline is something that says what your business stands for or what your brand stands for. So it may be in one word or two words or three words. It usually is not like a long sentence. It's not even a phrase. It's just some 2-3 words at the most. Okay, for example, look at Apple. Apple had this tagline called "Think Different." I mean, this was long ago. Maybe now they have something different. The taglines again are not always permanent. None of them is, even the logo cannot be permanent, but logo generally stays for a very long period of time unless there is need to change, unless your logo is not attracting any attention from customers, only then you need to change. If people recognize your logo, you should keep that logo as it is. But a tagline might change, maybe once in a few years. Again, you need to see how all these things play out in the real world. If people are able to associate your tagline, you should keep that. For example, the Apple Think Different tagline, you basically says that Apple stands for uniqueness or innovativeness, or a product that is much simpler to use than some of the competing products in the market. Or Disneyland has a tagline called the happiest place on earth. So basically, it makes you forget all about your problems or challenges and issues in your real world. If you go to Disneyland, you'll be very happy. So that's what this business promotes, or this what this brand stands for. The brand Disneyland stands for happiness. So it's basically their tagline is happiest place on earth. Nike says just do it. So it's basically a state of mind. Basically, it says that if you can do something, you should just go ahead and do it. So it stands for so basically, you need to do something. You need to take action. That's what Nike is saying, or that's what Nike stands for. The brand Nike stands for. L'Oreal, which is basically a beauty product, it says that because you're worth it. That's the tagline. What it means is predominantly L'Oreal is targeted at women. Basically, it's a product which enhances beauty and things like that. But basically, what L'Oreal is saying is it enhances your self-worth, it enhances your independence. You can stand on your own feet. So it gives you a lot of self-confidence to people who use the L'Oreal brand. Or KFC, for example, it says finger licking good. It's finger licking good. That's what it says. Basically, what KFC says is when you dine at KFC, you actually get good, tasty food. That's what we promise. That's what we deliver. Okay, I mean, we stand for good, tasty food. So ultimately, the purpose of a tagline is to create a positive and memorable phrase. So every time you go to Disneyland, you should feel happy, or you should associate happiness with Disneyland, or you should associate good food, tasty food with KFC, or you should associate an attitude of doing it, just doing it. When you look at Nike, that is what you should remember. So that's what a memorable phrase is about your brand. When people look at your brand, this is what they should remember about your brand. Okay, so can you create a tagline? That is one of the assignments for this week. So first thing is you need to create a brand name. Second thing is you need to come up with a logo. Third thing is you need to create a tagline as well for your business or for your brand. Okay, so basically it's like a catchphrase. The tagline is like a catchphrase for your brand. It helps you position yourself in the market. Again, when you have multiple competitors out there, you need to stand out from them. For example, when Apple started out as a company, there was this IBM, which was a big company, and Apple was a very small company. How do they compete with a big company like Apple? So they came out with this tagline called Think Different. When they said think different, people thought, oh, this company thinks different. They make different kind of computers. They make it easier to use, a more graphical user interface, and they bring a totally different kind of experience to using computers. So whenever you said Apple computers, people thought that, okay, it's an innovative computer. It's a much easier computer, which is much easier to use than probably IBM or some of the other companies. So that's how they started differentiating themselves. So this is what a tagline can do for your business. How do you differentiate yourself out there when in a crowded marketplace? And often you can put your tagline below your logo, on your official advertisements, basically, ultimately with the purpose of enhancing the awareness of the brand among the customers, among people, not necessarily existing customers, but among prospective customers as well. So this is what is tagline in a nutshell. There can be little more things about tagline, but I'm not going into the details. But I'm just giving you some gist of what a tagline is with a few examples. And the other part about marketing is you need to come out with a good communication. You need to communicate to your customers very clearly, very concisely, very crisply, and in a way that resonates with your customers and they feel they're getting value for whatever you're selling. So this is all about marketing message. So marketing message is basically how your business talks about the value that you offer to your customers. So here the tagline was more about what your business stands for, what it stands for. But marketing message is more about the value that you're providing to your customers. This can come directly from your value proposition statement in the business model. So you need to tweak it and make it, massage it a bit so that it looks nice and neat and crisp and short. But you should talk about the value. You should talk about the problem that you're trying to address. What is important to the customer? customer has a certain problem, and if you're tackling that problem through your product and offering that, then you need to make it clear to them that this is what you're going to get. For example, look at iPhones. They say privacy matters because people are concerned about phones being hacked, or maybe things being stolen from their phones and things like that. A lot of people worry about privacy data. Whatever data they have stored in it, it should not be, somebody should not be able to easily hack into their phone. So Apple promises them privacy. It says that your phone is very secure. It cannot be hacked. Nobody can break into your phone. This is the value that Apple iPhones bring to you. So that's what they highlight as part of privacy matters marketing message. Or take Maggi noodles, for example. It says 2-minute noodles. So you can consider it as a marketing message in some ways. Basically, what it is saying is you can make the noodles in just 2 minutes. It's so simple, so short. Why would customers buy Maggi noodles? Because of course, one, it is tasty. Another thing is it's very easy to prepare. It doesn't take a lot of time to prepare. For somebody who doesn't have time, who is always busy, they want some healthy, nutritious food. Maggi is a good choice. That is how they are promoting it. Their marketing message is it's just 2-minute noodles. You can prepare it very easily. Even if you don't have time, you can buy Maggi and have Maggi, which is both tasty as well as less time consuming. Or look at WhatsApp. They talk about simple, and what else do they say? They say it's private and a few other things, right? Simple, because it's so simple to use. You don't need to have a login and a password to use WhatsApp, unlike many other applications. And it also ensures privacy. They give you end-to-end encryption. That means nobody else can sneak into your message and try to read it. Nobody can do it. So it's very secure, right? So that's what WhatsApp says in their, as part of their messaging to customers, because this is very important. You need to say what is the value that the customer is getting by using your product. If the value that customer expects and the value that you are delivering to the customer are different, customers are not going to buy it. So ultimately, it's a media or a communication statement that is designed to influence customers. That's what marketing message is. And it is used to generate demand. If you value privacy, if you value time, then you go. If you value time, you go to Maggi noodles. If you value privacy, you will use WhatsApp, or you buy a Apple phone, or maybe, for example, the latest model of the Apple, one of the Apple devices, it says your next computer is not a computer. What does this mean? Basically, this is more than a simple computer in which you have a monitor and you have a keyboard and a mouse. That's what a traditionally computer is. But in this, it looks like a computer. It has a screen, the screen is completely detachable. If you detach it, it becomes like an iPad. Or if you stick it to the stand, there's also a keypad or a keyboard in which you can actually use it like a computer as well. And maybe it also has a phone. So your computer is not just a computer. It is also a pad, it is also a phone, and it's a computer as well, everything combined. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. Depending on how you want to use it, you can use it in different ways. So with this simple messaging, they are telling you, Apple is telling you that your computer can be used in so many different ways. And that's what you value. If you want flexibility of carrying it in your small briefcase, or small bag, you can remove the stand, the keyboard, everything, and you can just carry the iPad alone. Or if you want the convenience, you want to put it on a table and use it for your office work, then you can make it look like a computer and use it. So there are so many different ways in which you can use this, right? And ultimately, the marketing message is what it expresses the essence of why a customer would buy your product, because that's what a customer is looking for. They're looking for value, whether it is convenience or flexibility or time saving, whether it is about privacy or security. That's what customers value. And your marketing message should say exactly what they get from using your product or service. When they see that what you're offering, the value of your product matches with what they're looking for, then there will be an instant buy decision. So that's what happens. Your marketing message has to be targeted very clearly to customers. Okay. Marketing collaterals. This is another important thing. So when you have to promote your product, you can come out with different types of materials. Anything that you can use to promote your products or services is called as a collateral. For example, it could be a flyer or a brochure or a poster, or it could be a product video or a marketing video of your business. It could be television ads. It could be an infographic. It could be a magazine, advertisement in a magazine, or it could be a banner, or it could be a billboard. It could be even your website, which will promote your product, or it could be blogs and articles that you have written to promote your products. So your marketing collaterals can come in so many different ways. So now when you start promoting your product, you should really think of how you are going to promote it. Are you just going to have a flyer? Are you going to create some videos, marketing videos? Maybe you can even create a website to promote your product. Maybe you should even write some articles and blogs so that let people know through, people who want to read and understand the blogs in more detail, who are people who are more interested in specific features and functionality, they would want more detailed stuff. So for them, you need to give blogs and articles. So some people will just make an emotional decision. Some people will want to make more rational decisions. They want to go into the details. For them, you need to give them a lot of features and specifications of your product in details. So, and you need to give, you need to highlight certain things in the form of blogs and articles, why your product is better than some of the competitors. You need to explain those things for some people. So every customer is different. So you need to have a collection of these marketing collaterals, and you need to target different customers based on what they're looking for. Maybe for some people, just a video is good enough. For some people, just a brochure is enough. Some people want more. For them, you can give them an article or a blog that you have written. So things like that. So that is how you need to do it. And then you need to target different ways of reaching your customers, whether through a magazine or a newspaper, whether it is a website, whatever. Your collaterals should be seen by people. That means you should get them to the right people through the right channels or the right means. Okay, so now we have covered the core essence of marketing. In the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'll just cover you what is the assignment for this week. So whatever you have heard so far, that's exactly what you need to do as part of your assignment for this week. So first thing we would want you to do is create a brand name for your business, online business that you have set up last week. You have even come up with a business name. That business name may or may not be your brand name. Your brand name can be different and your business name can be different. I'll give you with some examples in in a subsequent slide. So have a catchy brand name that represents what you stand for, what your business stands for, and have a logo as well. Create a logo, design this logo. It could be a symbol, it could be an emblem, it could be some sort of a design. You can use this Canva tool or any other tool to create a logo, nice looking logo. It should make use of colors, whatever colors you want to use. It could be one single color or it could be multiple colors, but keep it simple. It should not be too complex. Okay, and make sure that the logo is meaningful to your brand. It should not be just throwing some picture at a brand name. Not like that. You need to really think through these things. And the second thing is come up with a tagline and a marketing message. So your tagline should say what your business stands for in 1 or 2 words, and your marketing message should say what is the value that your customers are getting by buying your brand or buying your products and services. So there are two distinct things. You need to be very clear about the tagline and the marketing message. Finally, the third assignment is to create a marketing flyer. The first two are very simple. It may take you some time to think about what should be by brand name and things like that, but it's just one word. Brand name can be a one single word, and your tagline and marketing messages can be 2 or 3 words at the most. It's very simple. It doesn't take you much effort to uh, come up with 1 and 2, other than the thinking part of it. Flyer is something that you need to create a nice looking flyer. I'll give you an example as well, and I'll also tell you what a flyer can potentially have. And the fourth assignment is basically you need to refine your digital product to align with whatever you're talking about. If your brand says I stand for quality, make sure that your product is also of good quality. Otherwise, what's going to happen? Your brand name is fake. Your marketing message, your tagline, everything will become fake if your product is not of good quality. So make sure that you refine your product to be consistent with your brand, your tagline, your marketing message, and whatever you're going to put in the flyer as well. So first assignment, I'm just giving you one example here. So you need to come up with a brand name and logo. So let's say this is one example from one of the student projects. The brand name that the student chose was Virtuality 360. And this is the logo that you see. It says Virtuality 360 on top. There is some symbol in the center and it says democratizing travel. This is the logo that the student has designed. Virtuality 360 stands for a virtual reality based tour of the world. That's what the product actually is. And the brand represents virtual reality tours. Okay, the name given is Virtuality 360. Virtual reality combined together, it became Virtuality 360. Okay, and the meaning behind the logo that the student has chosen is the globe signifies the world. You see the globe symbol there in the center, and the vertical and horizontal lines, grid lines, represents virtual reality. Okay, and the man watching the globe represents the world traveler. That's what the student says, and together the entire image represents a virtual 360-degree tour of the world. So somebody is using virtual reality technology to create be just some pictures just thrown there along with your brand name. Make sure that your logo is somewhat meaningful, but it is also simple at the same time and easy to maybe even draw or represent it, and for people to easily recognize and remember it. Right, that is what is important. When they see this picture, they should know that this is Virtuality 360 as a brand, similar to the M symbol in McDonald's. So this is the first assignment. Second assignment is, this is again from a student's activity. The tagline that the student has chosen is democratizing travel. If you see in the previous slide, you see here democratizing travel is shown even here along with the logo. So this is a tagline can potentially go with your logo. So democratizing travel, this is what the business stands for. Democratizing travel means the business makes world travel feasible and affordable to everyone. That's what this tagline is saying. We as a company make virtual, traveling around the world very feasible and affordable for everyone by using virtual reality technology, so that you don't really have to get out there and travel. You don't have to fly take a flight and fly to some other distant part of the world, but sitting in the comfort of your own home, you can travel the world virtually. That's what they're going to do. Marketing message says exactly what the value the customer is getting. Basically, customer can experience the world virtually. That's what the tagline says. So basically, you can experience the world tours virtually from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to go anywhere. So that's the value that the customer is getting. This is one simple example I picked up from one of the students who had attended a previous boot camp. But your marketing message, your tagline could be different. Okay, so it doesn't have to be some similar. Okay, but make sure that it's simple and it is catchy and easy to remember and it's memorable, and people can easily associate your tagline with your brand, and they also understand the marketing message clearly. Then they know what value the company or the business or the brand offers through their products and services. The third assignment is about creating a flyer, something like this. You don't necessarily have to come up with a flyer exactly like this. Okay, but in all, essentially a flyer is basically something that you can put it on your website, or it can be sent as an email as well, or it could be even shared on social media if possible. Social media, you don't call it as a flyer, you call it as a poster. It could be smaller in size. Okay, so basically make sure that your flyer has your logo, your brand name and tagline at least on one corner wherever it is. Okay, and there's a heading which attracts the attention of the customer. Basically, this one is screaming loud and saying that virtual reality tours, and its marketing message is put below that, which is experience the world virtually. So that by just reading these two lines, customers or people should know what you're talking about. And there is a very attractive graphic as well, which a picture which shows maybe a different part of the world which you can experience by going through these virtual tours. Or there could be a small one line or one sentence highlights about what your product or service is, or there could be some specific details of your products in a short bullet form or whatever it is. Or if you have some products and promotions, then you can highlight it as well. And finally, you could have some pointers to more information, because if after reading all of these, customer will start reading from the top and slowly he'll come down. And finally, when he comes down or she comes down, you should also tell them how they can book their virtual tours. So you need to give them some contact information or an email or a phone number to call, or even a QR code, so that they can just scan it and it takes them to the website where they can actually book their virtual tour. So basically the last section is called call to action. So unless you give the contact number and phone, customer doesn't know what to do with your flyer. Okay, he says everything is great, but what do I do? How do I book it? So you need to give them some steps, or you need to tell them how they can book the tour. So to get in touch or to book your tour, contact us. And this is our address, or this is our phone number, or this is our website. And this is what you need to do. So this is your third assignment. Okay. So assignment number 3. So I hope this is all simple so far. And the fourth assignment is you need to again refine your product further. So as I said earlier, make sure that you refine your product to ensure that whatever you put in a tagline, if your tagline says your company or your brand stands for certain values or certain things, make sure that your product aligns with it. Okay. So if you are targeting premium customers, make sure that your product is premium. If you are targeting, I mean, if your product is something which is about tasty food, then it better be tasty. Otherwise, it's of no use, right? So both tagline and marketing message should resonate with whatever. I mean, your product should resonate with these tagline and marketing messages ultimately. So tagline should live up to the tagline that says what your business stands for, and marketing, your product should again, you should refine your product. If you say it's a quality product, but if it is substandard product, it has lots of bugs and it doesn't work properly, then people will sooner or later figure out that this is a poor quality product, but just being hyped up. I mean, so your marketing should not just be a hype. It should live up to come up with a brand name for your online business as a whole. Right now, I won't recommend you to go and brand individual products or services. Have one brand name for your entire business. Your brand name and your business name can be different. Okay, some of you have come up with a business name last week as part of your business model canvas. For example, look at this company called Supermarket Grocery Suppliers Private Limited. Nobody knows that company, but the brand name they have is called Big Basket. Big Basket, many of us probably are familiar. It's a online grocery store where you can buy groceries and other things, fruits and vegetables online. So you have even a Big Basket app or a website where you can buy things. But company name is different, brand name is different. And your brand name can collectively represent one or more products or services offered by your business. For example, look at these individual product names like Santur soap for dry skin, Santur soap for oily skin, Santur hand wash. This is the company which makes Santur is Wipro, basically. So the company name is different, the brand name is different. Again, they have different brand names, different products, but they have one brand name called Santur. Okay, so different products can be, multiple products can have one brand name as well. And ultimately, make sure that whatever brand you have, the logo that you design, you use it consistently across all your website, your online store, your marketing flyers, wherever, whatever you use for marketing, make sure that everything is consistent. The colors, the style, the fonts, the themes that you use, everything should look consistent in uniform across all your channels, online channels, offline channels. Even if you print your flyer, it should have the same color, same design, same logo from the one you're putting on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. For example, look at this example. This is the company Boeing, which makes commercial airplanes. This is their website. They have a logo, it's a symbol, and it says Boeing, and it's in blue color. And if you go to Facebook, the same, you see the same logo, which is again in blue color. Okay, if you come to Instagram, it's the same logo. It's again in blue color. They don't use different colors for different logos on different sites. It's consistent. And even here on YouTube, they have the same logo. Everywhere it's the same blue color. So it should be consistent. The font, the style, design, everything should be consistent to give one brand image or one brand recognition. If you use totally different styles, totally different colors, customers will get confused. They think that this Boeing is different from this Boeing, and this Boeing. So they may think they're totally different companies or totally different brands. So make sure that you don't confuse the customers, but give a consistent impression to all your websites, your online stores, your flyers, your logo, everything should be consistent. Use one set of colors consistently. Okay. Now the last slide before we wrap up. So just a few due dates that you can follow. Of course, your mentors may give you certain other dates. You can follow them, but these are rough guidelines. So today's session is 27 June. You can create a brand name and brand logo by 28th, create a tagline and marketing message by 29th, design a flyer by 30th, and refine your product. Maybe you can take 1 or 2 days and you can complete it by 2nd of July and submit your marketing collaterals. When I say marketing collaterals, I mean all your tagline, marketing message, your brand logo, brand name, flyer, all of these you need to submit it as an assignment by 3rd of July, which is next Saturday. So this is what needs to be done. Okay. So that's what I wanted to cover today. So thank you very much for listening all the while. And I guess it's already past 12 o'clock. If there are maybe 1 or 2 questions, I can certainly take it. Avaria, over to you.
Yes, I'm just opening YouTube to check the questions, there is anything that the students need specific help with. But I think the most important take for this would be just to get started with the assignments, follow this week, and the similar sessions that have been done before. And
Okay.
mm, so I don't see any questions right now. I'll just wait another few seconds, and then if we still don't have anything, we can probably conclude the session today.
Sure, sir.
Mm, yeah, I think so. We've covered everything. I don't see any questions.
Sure.
So
Yeah, so
everyone,
students can always go back to the mentors and ask them if they need more clarity. I think the same slide deck is also on the Tinkerpreneur website. You can, whatever I talked about, you can find it there. And if you have more questions, you can always talk to your mentors.
yeah. So with that, I'd just like to thank everyone for joining in, and sir, thank you for doing this session. I'll see you all
Thank you.
in the next session that we have tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. So bye bye.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Varia. Thank you, everyone, for attending.